Audible? We will begin the session with Mangalacharan. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranam Dina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamrutavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavedveshinim. Bhagavan Krishna asked us to also chant for him today. So when I started to chant the Mangalacharan, it was the chanting of the Bhagavad Gita first. Let's begin with blessings of Bhagavan Krishna. The Patanjali Darshana, invocation of sage Patanjali. Yasya kva rupamadyam prabhavati jagato anekadhanugrahaya prakshina klesharashir vishama vishadharo anekavaktra subhodhi sarvajnana prasutir bhujag parikara प्रीतये यस्य नित्यं देवो हि शः सोमलतनुर्योगदो योगयुक्तः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Gently bow your head down. Bring yourself to the class. Prepare yourself for the session. When you're ready, gently lift your head up. Open your eyes. Extend your eyes. Namaste. Namo Namah. Hare. Good to see all of you. Yes. Where did we stop in the last class? Do you recall what we discussed? Yes. We discussed the need for meditation. Yes. So, the sutra number, just make a note, 10, sutra number 10, is for the one who is on the last stage of sadhana. Sutra number 10, what does it say? Chant after me. Te prati prasavaheyaha sukshmaha. Yes. So this is the stage where the kleshas, we are discussing kleshas and how they have become dagda bija. So this is the last stage of the seeker. Now what happens if it is not last stage? That is, they are not dagda bij, but they are tanu, very less. For the ones in whom kleshas are in tanu karana, for them it is sutra number 11. What does this sutra say? Dhyana heyastadavruttayaha. Chant after me. Dhyana heyastadavruttayaha. Dhyana heyastadavruttayaha. Dhyana heyastadavruttayaha. In this state, the bija, that is the seed of kleshas, is still there. But how it is there? It is less than any other person. So in this stage, meditation has been advised. What is advised to this kind of seeker? Meditation has been advised. So what do we do here? We see that the kleshas are made from sthula to sukshma. And how are they made? Sukshma with the help of dhyana. What is practiced? Dhyana is practiced. This is antim sthara of sadhana. This is the last leg of the sadhana where you have this very dhyana. So, sthula karma ashaya. Sthula karma ashaya, that is from the gross, you have reached subtle, but you have not reached null. So Sutra number 10 is null kleshas, no kleshas. Sutra number 11 is Sukshma, Tanukarana, little klesha. And Sutra number 12, we will now start today. Kleshamulaha,
Kleshamulaha,
Karmashayo,
Karmashayo,
Drushta Adrushta,
Drushta Adrushta,
Janma Vedaniyaha,
Janma Vedaniyaha,
Kleshamulaha,
Kleshamulaha,
Karmashayo,
Karmashayo,
Drushta
Drushta Adrushta,
Janma Vedaniyaha.
Janma Vedaniyaha.
Okay. Now let's see the third category of the seeker in which these kleshas are still very, very strong. So in Yoga Ruksha, we have these three. One whose kleshas are very less. Actually, that person would be in Yoga Rudha, where kleshas have become very, very less. The Dagda Bija. But the next, Tanukarana. Less will not be the term as it is in English. It will be Dagda Bija and Tanu. Both are same, but one where they are, but they are roasted. That is Yoga Rudha. And in the second category, we see subtle and we see gross. That is Sutra number 11 for the subtle and Sutra number 12 for the gross kleshas in Yoga Ruksha. Let's see the Bhashya. Tatra punya apunya karmashayah काम लोभ मोह क्रोध प्रस्वः सदृष्ट जन्म वेदनीयश्च दृष्ट जन्म वेदनीयाश्च तत्र तीव्र संवेगेन मंत्र तपः समाधिभिर्निर्वर्तित ईश्वर देवता महिर्षि महानुभावान् आराधनाद्वा यः परिनिष्पन्नः स सद्यः परिपच्यते पुण्यकर्माशय इति. Now, for this person in whom the kleshas are very, very strong, yes, what is this klesha showing an indication, or how these kleshas are being born again and again? Why this person is not able to thin them or make them settle? So this sutra says the reason is karmashaya. What is the reason? Karmashaya. What is karmashaya? Karma is, yes, karma is the action of those people. And this karma, this entire sutra talks about the law of karma in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. So just make a note, the law of karma has been discussed in Sutra 2.12 in the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So this very sutra gives us the meaning of karmashaya. Klesha mulaha. Klesha means the pancha kleshas. Mulaha, that is roots. Karmashaya is the karma ashaya. Drushta adrushta janma vedaniya. And this fruit of these karmas is seen and unseen. Therefore, some kleshas, we feel they are less, but they suddenly increase. Because the fruit is both ways, drishta as well as adrishta. For the karma, the fruit is drishta as well as adrishta. So, karma ashaya, a state where you are stuck in a cycle where some effects of the karma are seen and some are not seen. So, the understanding of this state comes only from the understanding of karmas. And let's see how this sutra takes us till there. If you have any questions, you can ask me about last three sutras until then. Yes.
I have one question.
Yes.
So I was going through your previous recording where you explained this Sutra 12 and you with the example of a newborn child. You were explaining Sanchita Karma and prarabdha karma,
Yes.
little extra
Yes.
information you were giving. And then you say that sometimes when you feel that in this birth I have not done anything wrong, still going through so many struggles and
Yes.
all, then could be because of the sanchita karma, that is a karmic effect you said. And in that moment, go inward as a tortoise, you said,
Yes.
and allow that moment to pass, and
Yes.
don't allow anyone to interfere with it.
Yes.
Can you explain it little bit? What does that mean? Is it like
That is what we are going to study today till
okay?
12th. So what we do is in the first session, we try to understand what it says. But when you try to listen it again in the second session, I tell you which category what falls under and what has been discussed in the previous session, how to do it. So first session, we discussed what until Sutra number 12. Completely we discussed what it talks about. It talks about karma, how to go about it, and the technical terms will be introduced now today. So don't worry, we will discuss that also, that how to free ourselves from that. So this karma, now just make a note, divided into two. Karma, first is samskara and second is vasana. Karma, we saw the time frame of karma as sanchita, prarabdha, destined, and agami, timeline of the karmas. Sanchita, collected karmas, collective throughout the births. Then prarabdha, destined only for this birth. And agami, which I have not met those karmas, but I'm going to meet them in the future. This is the timeline of the karmas. Now write second point, types of karma phala. Types of karma phala. Karma is action, phala is fruit. First is adrishta, not seen, and second is drishta, seen. Under this, write type of karma. Type of karma. Born out of first A, sanskara. A is sanskara and B is vasana. First is sanskara, A, and B is vasana. So we'll go from down to top when we try to understand this. Yes. So what are the two types that we see that give cause to the karma? What causes karma? If this is the question, the last which we discussed is the answer. What causes karma? A, samskara. Second, vasana. Or B, vasana. What is samskara? Easily removable karmic effect. Easily nullified, easily removable karmic effect. And what is vasana? Long-term, deep-rooted, which I am unable to change. Long-term, deep-rooted, unable to change. For the ones who have joined just now, don't worry, we are walking you back again, so you will understand. Take the first understanding, first step as the two, A and B, which give birth to karma. We are seeing, answering the question, how is karma born in every person? Every person is provoked to act according to a certain way because of the samskara. And second is the vasana. Now, this samskara and vasana give birth to the karma, which gives birth to the phala, drishta and adrishta. Are we able to understand till here? Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 2.12 actually is telling us we can decide which karma in this life can give us fruit. Write this specifically. 2.12 is showing us the path, telling us that we have the power to decide which karma is going to fructify for us in this birth. How? Now there will be the secretive meaning that we will see, the Gudha Sanskara, how that is to be. So let's take the example of a cow walking on the street on the rainy season. Yes, in the mud, you will see a lot of footprints of the cow. Yes, now if there is a bicycle car passes on that footprint, will that footprint remain? No, so erased easily. What will you call this? Samskara. Now the same footprint of the cow, no car passes, becomes very hard, molded, dried in the sun. And after that, one car passes. Will it be able to completely destroy that footprint? Only the upper fragile layer will be removed. The deep-rooted impression will not be removed. That is vasana. So, this sutra is actually telling us that when we are facing a karmic transaction, one, we should try to understand from which vasana it is coming. From which vasana it is coming. Whatever I'm facing right now, this may be the effect of some of the vasanas. So, in order for me to nullify it or have control over it, I must act contradictory to it. What is the one way? To act contradictory to it. And the second way this sutra discusses is to convert that into drashta. Convert that into drashta phala. Drashta means seen phala. Adrishta means not seen phala. So one which I'm not able to see and understand why it is happening, I have to convert it into drashta phala. Now how to convert it into drashta phala? Let's see what the Bhasha gives us. Tatra tivra samvegena mantra tapah samadhirbhir nivartita ishvara devata maharishi mahanubhavan aradhana dva. So, sage Patanjali gives us 4 karmas which give immediate phala in this life. Which are those 4 karmas? Mantra, tapaha. Mantra, practice of mantras. Tapaha, dvandasahana, tapas, which we saw in Kriya Yoga, if you recall, 2.1. So, tapaha, samadhi, Ishvara Devata, to Ishvara, to gods, Maharishi, great sages. Aradhana, being in surrender and practice of Bhakti Yoga. So this sutra tells us that these are the only 4 karmas which give immediate and instantaneous result in this very birth. Therefore, they are known as drashta karma. That's why you see in India also, or in anywhere around the world, there is a customary tradition. Whenever you're going through any kind of challenge or suffering, what you do? You start doing the contrary. You start praying to the God. Why? Because this text tells us that these are the only 4 which give us an immediate result. Just take a moment, reflect on this. Then we continue. Ma'am, yes, please come. So sorry.
Madam, can you just please repeat it again? Mantras, tapaha, samadhi, and Ishvara?
Ishvara Devata,
Devata.
Maharishi, Mahanubhavana, Aradhana. Just write practice of Bhakti Yoga. So for example, if there is a person who's having a very difficult emotions to be dealt with, we see the Anahata is facing a challenge, Anahata Chakra. What kind of practice will we give this person? the practice of Bhakti Yoga. And it's very important for us to select our sadhana because we should know what is our adhikaritva, eligibility as a seeker. If the sadhana is too high, as a seeker, we are not able to do justice to it. So depending on what challenges I'm facing right now, I have two outcomes as per Sage Patanjali. First is to understand if it is a samskara or if it is a vasana. If it's a samskara, it will come like a small, strong moment and it will pass away. But if it's an outcome of the vasana, what do I see? It gives me prolonged suffering for a long period of time. So once I understand this, once I know my adhikaritva, I choose a sadhana which gives me drashta phala, seen result in this lifetime. Because I have a very short time span for the sadhana, especially for us when we are also out in the world, we are also taking care of the responsibilities. We should know why we are doing the sadhana. And second, what kind of sadhana is useful for us. So Sage Patanjali here gives us a way to go ahead. And what is that way? Choosing the sadhana, and that sadhana to be mantra tapaha aradhana. Why? Because it gives drashta phala. Therefore, you will see so many Siddha Purush in Himalayas for a few years. They have some sadhana, which they, complete, they come to a perfection of that sadhana. They have the phala of that sadhana. And then they come back to the material world, which is actually not advisable. What did we see? When we talk about any kind of sadhana, phala, any kind of yogic power, that needs to be taken as a hindrance to the spiritual progress and must be purely ignored, staying in isolation. I will just withdraw for a minute. Please reflect until then. Yes. As we move ahead, see the bhashya. तथा तीव्र क्लेशेन भीति व्याधि कृपेणेषु विश्वास उपगतेषु वा महानुभावेषु वा तपस्वीषु कुतः पुनः पुनः उपकारः स चापि पापकर्माशय सद्य एव परि उपचते यथा नंदीश्वर कुमारो मनुष्य परिणामं हित्वा देवतेन परिणीत तथा निहेषु अपि देवानम् इन्द्र स्वयकं परिणामं हित्वा नियकन्त्वरेण परिणीत इति तत्र नारकाणां नास्ति दृष्टजन्म वेदनीय कर्माशय क्षीण क्लेश नाम अपि नास्ति अदृष्टजन्म वेदनीय कर्माशय इति. So what do we see in this sutra? We understand that the papa punya or the understanding of this karma is only in the nara yoni, in the manushya janma. There are two yonis. One is naraka and nara. What is the difference between nara and naraka? Naraka will be the bhoga yoni, the yoni for suffering, where you have no power to change anything. The animal birth. So if the snake is giving out poison, is that said to be papa karma? No. It cannot be said because in that yoni you have no power to change anything. But only in the manushya yoni, we see some power to change our karma. And how are we changing it? First, making the adrishta, if we do not understand, doing karmas which will give us drashta phala, thereby loosening the path of the previous karmas. So do the opposite of what is suffering bringing to you. In English, just write it. Do the opposite of what suffering is bringing to you. And sadhana is to be selected based on vasana and samskara. This is most important point. Not every sadhana is for everyone. Like we said, bhakti yoga. Some people will not take up study of scriptures. Why? Because in this lifetime, they cannot go beyond Anahata Chakra. Their vasanas and samskaras are so strong, they will say, we are happy in the bhakti yoga. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. That's fine. It's fine if we don't know the Krishna Tattva or contemplate. So not all sadhana is for everyone, and everyone chooses the sadhana according to their vasana. So we are automatically led onto that kind of sadhana. So we see, for example, the sadhana of Tantra. In Tantra, we see Shukla Tantra, Krishna Tantra. Now, practice of Tantra is popular as Krishna Tantra, dark side of Tantra, or any kind of tantric practices, which may be to harm others. And we saw the reason, what was the initial idea of practice of Tantra. So, tantric practices which are for gain of any material luxury is said to create a karma which is also drashta, means such a person is seen to be suffering in the same lifetime. Even if we talk about in spirituality, you may have yoga bhrashta. Who are yoga bhrashta? Started as a yogi but did not end as the yogis. Agat, you have a question? Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So we can only control our karma in the manusha, body.
Yes, human life.
And so all the other animals and as well like the plants and every living being are not in this field.
Yes, in the plant birth, you cannot control your karma. Plant birth, we discussed, it's very close to human birth. And it's most difficult. The plant also lives as long as a human does, but there is restriction of movement. So karmic, as per karma, which birth is closer to the human birth? Birth of any plant. So it is also bhogyoni. Why? Because plant is very siddha. That's why we know which plant we can eat. In Ayurveda, every plant is known as aushadhi. So they are living beings. Plants are also having very much life in them. But that is also bhoga yoni. Bhoga is suffering. They have to go through that, some kind of suffering. After them is the animal birth, which has more and more suffering. Now, where you have written karmas which are going to give us fruits immediately, just write alpa avadhi kriya. Alpa avadhi, short time sadhana. Alpa, A-L-P-A, alpa avadhi, A-V-A-D-H-I, alpa avadhi sadhana. Short term, any kind of short term fruit of the sadhana. And opposite to this, right? Ajanma karma. Ajanma karma for vasanas. So we do not know what it is. Whatever we are facing right now, whether it's a vasana or it is a samskara. In both the cases, it needs to be removed. If it's a samskara, some short time sadhana will help us get rid of it. But if it's a vasana, then what happens? A janma throughout life. that sadhana needs to be done. Why it is to be done? How? Not to ask the guru, just to do it. A janma. Why a guru gives one daily sadhana for entire life and one smaller sadhana? One daily sadhana is to take care of our vasanas. So next birth, we are not in the same position. Vasanas are removed. So we move from sthula to sukshma, sukshma to dagdha bija. And the short-term sadhana which is given to us, like Ekadashi, fast on Ekadashis, fast on Navaratri. And fasting means we say that I am not eating. But what is the true meaning of fasting? Not speaking also is fasting. So such kinds of sadhanas, what are they? Alpavadi, short-term. For what? For the samskars. 5 friends decided to engage in excessive of alcohol. One of them never experienced alcohol. And with the friends joined them. So the impression or samskara of going back was created. That is a samskara. It can be easily removed. So what is this sutra telling us? We can decide which karma can give us fruit first. If we work on the karmas, which are mantra, tapa, samadhi, and so on, we start getting fruits of these karma in this birth. Therefore, we can alter the course of destinies. And with the help of these mantra, tapa, and guru krupa, the one which are in the state of vasanas, those are also removed. So not only samskara has taken place, not only there is a change of experience of life. What happens when you are in spirituality? Many of us will agree. We say, oh, my life changed after so and so happened. Oh, my life changed when I went to Rishikesh. Why this change of life happened? Because when you do one good thing, it opens the doors to give you the fruit of all the good things you have done through past lives. As simple as that. Therefore, there is this uphold of value system in the Sanatana. मैम अब बैठ जाइए, कोई बात नहीं. Our one good karma, one day, and repetitively doing any good karma is opening doors for the past good karmas to start fructifying. And one wrong karma and repetitively doing that is doing what? Encouraging the fruit of all the bad karmas, which is papa and punya. What are papa? This sutra also tells us. Giving trouble to one who is in punya. Troubling someone who is already in pain. So first, creating challenges for the one who is in punya. Second, creating challenges for the one who is already suffering. These both also give drashtaphala. Immediate life result. Immediate. During this time only, we are able to face the results. So this sutra is only telling us drishta and adrishta. And how, what is drishta? Can we have the drashtaphala in this very life? And what is adrishtaphala? What can we really do about it? Should we be on a quest, oh, why this is happening in life? Or then we should have a state of mind. And that is spirituality. What is that? What can I do right now? Spirituality is applied in our response to the world, not on the mat. So this understanding is reminded to us with the help of this sutra. We can take any questions. We shall be stopping here today.
I have a question.
Please, yes.
So you said, if I understood well, that we choose our asana regarding the vasana that we have. So how can we know how much or how many karma we have in our life? How many bad karma or good karma we have. I don't
How
know.
many? How
Yes.
many? For how long we can?
Yeah.
How long? At the maximum, we know it's 80 years. Average lifespan right now, expectancy is 70 years. So not how many, because they are the evolutes of Prakriti and all Panchaklesha come together. So they are multiplying and multiplying. But how long is the question? How long am I having the time frame to undergo the karmas? So how do we know that my karmic transactions are getting less? We saw that the idea of world is individual to each one of us. Therefore, the moment we feel, I do not care what others think of me, what is happening? The idea of world is diminishing for me. Parents, until the age of 30, we live with them. Suddenly, after 30, you are not living with parents. Means what? You have had the strongest karmic transactions with them. They have started weakening. So, although they are a part of your very close circle, but you are no more with them. And same is going to happen with the children as well. So, the moment you feel the people have lessened in my life, that is approximately your 32s and 35s. This is the time where your past karmic transactions are at a very less and you start creating agami. And therefore you say, oh, my life changed at 40. I became a different person. I badly wanted to do something. I worked in that industry. You will see people change professions. They are greatest in their profession. 10, 12 years, they will change it. Why? That vasana has exhausted. What you're doing in previous birth, you exhausted that. And now what you're doing is going to bring agami karma to you. So we become very inward at this point. So this is the sign that you being on this path itself is a sign of what? I don't want to see faults in anybody else now. I feel a need to change something in myself. This understanding, this turn point or whatever that you may call it in English is the state where you should know that your karmic transactions have weakened, not lessened or not less, but what has happened? They started weakening, means any small good effort from your side is going to open the door for fructification of all past good karmas in your life. The moment the people who are closest to you are no more the reason for the happiness and sorrow both. Means they're a part of your life, but whatever happens in their life does not affect you to a certain intensity and degree. This is the second understanding that the karmic transaction with them has started. I hope you are able to be closer to what you are seeking. Ji?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, you'd explained four karmas which give us fruits immediately. Can you explain the third one, which is samadhi? So, practice of mantra, tapas, which was kriya yoga, and the fourth was practice of bhakti yoga. Can you explain a little bit about samadhi, the third one?
Samadhi, what is the state of samadhi? Transparency, where the mind feels the chitta is absolutely empty. That is the sign of one-pointed mind. If it's a sabit samadhi. So from the state of manyness, my mind has come to a state of oneness. So we discuss this in the samadhi pada, that we cannot suddenly go from manyness to nothingness. We have to come from a state of manyness in the mind to one-pointed mind, and from one-pointed to no thoughts.
So, for this, one must do meditation. Is this the one where we are practicing?
Yes. Dhyan, yes. Because kleshas are there, but they're subtle, not gross. That's why you're able to meditate. Otherwise, you would not be able to sit for 10 minutes. What is the sign? How do you know whether I'm able to meditate or not? If you're able to sit for 10 minutes, that's it. Do nothing. Just try to sit quietly for 10 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I have one
Ji, Rana,
question.
please.
Ma'am, first of all, this small sutra has such a deep meaning into it. I think we need to go through recording 1 or 2 times to understand this sutra.
Yes.
Just one question, ma'am. This I understood what is drashtafal. I want to just be sure that if I'm right or not. Drashtafal is the seen fruit of our like, is it as it's seen karma, right? You say the seen karma. Drashta is a
Yes.
seen karma. So when we see the immediate karma, immediate result of our karma is the drashtafal.
Drashta. Yes.
Drashtafal. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. That's it.
Jiteshi, you have a question?
Are samskaras part of vasanas? And is it possible that a samskara that is repeated many times can be trained to become a vasana?
Yes. Sanskara repeated many times is going to be a vasana for sure. Sanskara is not a part of vasana. So it's not, sanskara can come externally, vasana is deep rooted from you. Understand it this way. Sanskara can come, you meet some Satpurush, there is samskara. It has nothing to do with your vasana.
So
But
vasanas,
samskara creates good and both bad vasanas. So if you meet a Satpurush, you're going to have better vasanas create.
so from my what you say, I understand is that vasanas are already like inbuilt when we're or when we're born, basically.
Until they are dagda bij, until they are roasted by us.
Okay.
Ji, yes.
Yes,
Ma'am.
ma'am, sorry. I was Shivanji ji, you can go first if you want. Okay. I was looking at what I wrote now. And you were saying that what is and the difference between Alpa Avadi Sadhana and Aganma Karma Sadhana?
Ajanma, yes. Alpavadi, short period. Ajanma, long life sadhana. Alpa means less or short.
So G, just one more thing. So we said that Alpavadi, so short period sadhana is for samskara and long period is for vasana, right?
That is Guru gives. Long-term sadhana, Guru will always give us. Ajanma, the moment there is Ajanma written, that means it is for our vasanas. Even I have Ajanma sadhana given by my Guru. So I have to do it. Why, what? No. Just do it.
Okay, okay. I get it. Thank you.
Ma'am, I just have a very small question.
Yes, yes, you're audible to me. Go ahead.
Sorry. Ma'am, two things. One, can you explain about vasanas? What are the kind of vasanas when we say vasana? And two, can you also suggest for us, what should be our ajanma karma sadhana?
I can answer the former. For the latter, I will take some time, few more years. I'm not allowed to in this moment because I have not completed my Shastra then. Few more years. But I can definitely guide you to someone who can help you with that until now. What are vasanas? Vasanas means a guru sees our past birth, where we come from. Not who we are, what is our appearance. No. Where we come from is the vasanas. What makes us in a certain way, what has put us in a certain situation. So they are very deep-rooted, strong impressions. Like, don't we say when we are in good energy, we attract good people. So if there is a strong vasana, everything happening in my life will be magnetized by that vasana. Things which will exhaust this vasana will happen.
But what are vasanas? What, like, is it
Write them as strong desire in English. Strong
anything?
desires. Strong
Anything.
desires. Yes, of anything.
So even desire to walk on the path of spirituality is also vasana.
No, no.
Or
It's a samskara. It begins as samskara. You make it vasana. It always begins as samskara. It is us who make it vasana, spirituality. That's what I mentioned.
okay, okay.
But
So there
for
should
the
not be
yogis,
any
for the yogis,
sorry.
in chapter 1, they are born yogi. We will see in 4.1 also. That sometimes you're a born yogi, which means what? The vasanas of liberation were so strong that you were born just to exhaust that and attain liberation in this birth, nothing else. But that we will cover in 4.1, not here, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Namaste ji. We will conclude here for today and then we meet again tomorrow. Sorry, I was just in some clinic today. I couldn't avoid the treatment. But yes, tomorrow we meet again. We
No
conclude.
problem, ma'am.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently bow your head down. Feel grateful for this learning. When you're ready, gently lift your head up, open your eyes, extend your eyes. Namaste. Hari Om. May Ishvara bless us and take us towards Mukti soon this birth. May we be always encouraged to follow our spiritual path. Hari Om.
Hari Om.